Okay, now let's look at how the inner ear transfer different, analyze different frequencies, because all the basal membrane, you have hair cells grow on all of them. So all these have hair cells. And when the sounds comes at different frequencies, say this one has 3 frequencies, and it's this population, and this population of hair cells, they vibrate at the same time. So when the sounds with more than one frequency comes, and they can be analyzed at the same time, and when the signal go to the brain, your brain pick up the populations distribution 1, 2, 3 and combine them together, and your brain know, okay, this is the sound of what tone or what instrument. And that's the basal membrane. So your basal membrane have different population of hair cells, and they code different frequency. So if this is a high frequency one, this group. If it's low frequency one, this group. And they're able to do that from 20 to 20 kHz. So that's our auditory frequency. And if the sound is lower than 20 Hz, you don't have hair cells vibrate, so you hear nothing. And for bigger animals like elephants, they are able to hear lower frequencies. Usually bigger animals are able to hear lower one. And because their hair cells can vibrate at 10 times per second, so they can hear the 10 Hz, we could not. And the maxima for us is 20 kHz, so the hair cells can vibrate 20,000 times. Actually, they don't. They just have a group of them. Together, they can code 20 kHz, but we won't go deeper to that part. It's called the Raleigh principle. We won't go deeper than that part. And the highest frequency the hair cells are able to pick up is 20 kHz. So if I give you 30 kHz, you don't hear the sound, but some animals can hear it, like dog, they can hear 30 kHz. So if you go to Amazon, you purchase the dog whistle, and you blow it, you hear nothing. You say, wow, is this broken? No, it's not broken, because when you blow it, your dog hear it, and it's 30 kHz. So we don't hear it. It's not because there's no sound. So again, the perception comes from your neuronal response, because we don't have 30 kHz sound hair cells to respond to it, so we don't hear 30 kHz. And also, when this vibrate at high frequency, this vibrate at low frequency, this one gonna wear out first. So when you are getting old, you actually lose some high frequency range of the sound. Does it affect our life? Usually not too much, unless you work in a super loud environment for 40 years. You damage most of them. It will be a problem. We do have people, they when they retire, they have to turn on the TV volume so loud, and their wife complain. And the reason is they work in a very loud environment. They damage a lot of hair cells. And the normal wear down is the high frequency one. So when we are getting old, we actually lose the 30 kHz. And you can go to do the test. You found like you are in 20, right? You still have about 15 kHz sound. And you say you lose those 20 kHz sound. It doesn't affect our life too much. Like me, I'm 40. I can hear about 14, 13 kHz. It does not affect the life too much. And the reason is the most important one, language, music. Most of them are in the thousands Hertz range. So most of them are pretty safe. But you still need to protect your ear pretty well, because once they wear down, it's gone. It's gone. So it's all mechanical. Okay, so this video show you the cochlea, how they code different frequencies. I'll leave it to you. Let's talk about another important topic: how the auditory system able to identify the sound. We talk about this in the first part of the sensory lecture. We talk about each sensory system need to be able to identify the location, and it's not much a difficulty for visual system, because visual system have a two-dimensional retina, but it's challenging for the auditory system. So auditory system need to do something, and let's see how they do it. Because the sound come from the left side, will reach the left ear, will also reach the right ear. It's gonna reach both ear. So it's gonna reach both ear. And because the sound travel a little bit slower compared with the light, actually much slower. It only travel about 340 meters per second. And we can use the time delay you reach the left ear and right ear to be able to calculate. So the sounds go to the your inner ear start to generate action potential when they go to the brainstem, and they start being processed. So say the sounds come from the right side, it will activate the right right neuronal input first, then the left. And in the brainstem part, you have some nuclei. Their job is to compare the time difference. So you found this nuclei receive input from both ear. So if the sound comes from the right side, the right ear gonna go faster than the left signal. And by comparison, and they know, okay, well, the signal comes from the right. So they can create a whole map. And because of this, it's been processed in the brainstem. So you found from the brainstem, very original brain area, they start to process signal from two ears. And some animals, like low-level species, they could not afford to have a very good cortex. That's an expensive toy, but they have brainstem. So it turned out in some animals, lower-level species, auditory become their main system, because this is more affordable one compared with the visual system. You need a lot of cortical area to process those visual information. If we compare the auditory with the visual is they don't receive signal from two eyes in the brainstem part. They will go to the thalamus, from the thalamus to the primary visual cortex, and the left visual cortex process information from the right visual field, and vice versa. And after V1, primary visual cortex, they start to have V2, V4, V5 also called MT, and they start to process, compare, and the MT process the motion part of the visual, and the V4 process the color vision, so you are able to recognize the object. So the visual system start being processed very late. After the reach the cortex part, they start being processed, not the auditory. Auditory being processed pretty early. And in the brainstem, they start to receive input from two. So it's more affordable one. So for some low-level species, and they actually can afford to have this, and this become their main system. Let's take a break.